So the virus is endemic. The virus is dying out, but the media refuses to let go.
Coronavirus here in the U.S. and with vaccinations ramping up, real hope, but also concern tonight with cases now up in at least 10%. That's the number in 15 states now.
Okay, before I fact check this claim, 15 states, that leaves 35 states where the virus is not going up. And why don't they talk about the overall trend, which is going down? But let's have a look at these alleged 15 states that are seeing a 10% spike in cases. First, we have Delaware. Nope. ABC is full of shit. Then we have Massachusetts. Again, ABC is full of shit. How about Oregon? Nope. ABC is still full of shit. How about Mississippi, which opened a week ago? Oh, gee, this should be the argument for states to open up. How about New Hampshire? Do you see a trend spiking back up? I sure don't. How about Nevada? Well, there was a little spike there for a couple days, but most recently it's still a down trend. How about Idaho? Are you losing sleep over this chart here? I don't think so. And Connecticut, do you see a spike upward? Then we get to Maryland. Again, this is ABC's gravely concerned about this chart here. Then we get to Alaska, very spiky reporting of cases. Some days it's high, some days it's low, but do you see a trend moving upward? I don't. Then we get to Maine. Do you see a trend here? And then New Jersey, it looks like cases still haven't gone down, so it's not fair to say that cases are going up. And then we look at Virginia. Yeah, it looks like cases have gone up a little, but the curve is already flattened. This is negligible. And then we get to Michigan. Finally, we have a state where cases have gone up somewhat. But this is 1 out of 50 states. Now, Minnesota, I'm going to get to in a second.
The CDC tonight and what they're calling 2 variants of concern. Dr. Anthony Fauci warning we remain in the middle of a serious outbreak. The numbers tonight, 73,510,000 people have received at least 1 dose. That's more than 28% of all adults.
And you tack on all the people who have natural immunity because they got over the virus.
ABC's Eva Pilgrim tonight on those variants of concern.
Tonight, St. Patrick's Day celebrations scaled down for the 2nd year in a row. As the country reaches a critical crossroads in this pandemic.
We are still in the middle of a serious outbreak.
No, the virus is endemic. The virus is ending, you douche.
My concern is that we prematurely pull back and don't give the vaccines time to continue to protect the country.
Fauci is such a broken record. Remember what he said about Florida when they reopened back in September, and Fauci said, oh, they're asking for trouble.
Although the national case average is falling.
Although the virus is dying out, we want to focus on those 1 or 2 states where cases are going up.
15 states are seeing at least a 10% increase in the last week from the Midwest to the Northeast. But half the country is now easing restrictions. Minnesota starting its rollback.
We're winning and this thing's coming to an end.
But over the last 7 days, the case average there climbing 47%.
And that is a bold-faced lie. Just look at this chart. Does this alarm you, this chart here? Of course not. And just for fun, I went and calculated the case total this week versus the prior 7 days, and cases are actually up 22%, not 47%. Also, this is how the media lies with statistics, because as numbers get smaller and smaller, it doesn't take but a little blip to cause a large percentage increase. But as you can see, in the grand scheme of things, the curve has been flattened.
Minnesota, I think, is really a harbinger of things to come. We're loosening up all the restrictions we've had, and in some ways creating a perfect storm moment for virus transmission, whether it's a variant or not.
What a distortion.
The CDC now adding 2 new strains first detected in California to its list of variants of concern.
And ABC, no mention of the fact that the vaccines have been working against the new variants.
Saying they may be about 20% more contagious.
Yeah, the operative word is may. They might be misinterpreting the seasonal spike that viruses always have in the wintertime as being more contagious. That's it.
With states now expanding access to the vaccine, demand soaring.
The competition will be fierce. Who can type the quickest? Who knows the little shortcuts?
But with vaccinations quickly ramping up across the country, Disney CEO Bob Chapek revealing today that Disneyland in California will reopen at the end of next month. The park owned by ABC's parent company.
Yeah, isn't that poetic justice that the parent company of ABC, the left-wing propaganda network, was shut down. Their Anaheim Disneyland was shut down for a year in Los Angeles.
Still, the looming challenge of convincing enough Americans to get the vaccine. A recent poll finding nearly half of Republican men would choose not to get vaccinated.
Yeah, and I'm one of those Republican men. Why? Am I an anti-vaxxer? No. I'm anti-vaccines that haven't been adequately tested, that aren't FDA approved.
George Stephanopoulos asking President Biden about the political divide.
How do you get the politics out of this vaccine?
It isn't.
I just don't understand this sort of macho thing about
false.
I'm not going to get the vaccine. I have a right as an American, my freedom to not do it. Well, why don't you be a patriot? Protect other people.
And this is just a complete false narrative. The number one reason people don't want to get vaccinated is because they're afraid of side effects. 48% say they want to wait and see if the vaccine is safe. 21% don't think they need the vaccine because they're probably not at any great risk. And if they don't have comorbidities, they're right.
And now, former President Trump, who quietly got the vaccine before leaving office, telling his supporters to get it.
It's a great vaccine. It's a safe vaccine, and it's something that works.
Yeah, safe short term, but is it safe long term? That we don't know because it hasn't been tested for 4 to 6 years like most vaccines are tested before they get FDA approved.
Researchers at Policy Lab concerned about the first signs of a possible resurgence in cities like Detroit, Boston, and New York. And while they don't expect the intensity of the surge we saw this winter, they say it is a reminder that this pandemic is not over.
Yeah. And you know, Florida is a reminder that lockdowns don't work.